Hi, Blastpop here. At the recent GMT winter sale, I picked up a couple items. One of these items was the Wing Leader expansion set. Actually, it's more of an update kit. It does give you new scenarios and such, so there's a bit of a upgrade to it. In addition to the update to the rules 2.2, also included are extra counters, instructions to incorporate the update kit, which also includes aircraft data cards, a new unmounted map to replace the existing one from Wing Leader Victories. And that's the point. This updates Wing Leader Victories to version 2.0 or 2.2, depending whether it's the ADCs or the rulebook. There's some additional scenarios, and some of the scenarios that existed in the 1.0 have been updated to reflect play balance as well as updates to the system and how that impacts the scenarios as they were originally presented a few years back. So, all in all, it's a fairly inclusive package, and it saves one the money of having to buy an entire new game and the preparation involved to get that game to the table. So this is a welcome addition for me, and I'm very happy to have received it. Again, you receive the 2.2 rules book, and it follows a similar format. I'm not going to get into how the game is played as much as to show that it includes a similar formatting to what you're accustomed to. It's a gloss or semi-gloss, if not a full gloss, rules book, which to me is a little bit on the downside, as I tend to prefer either semi-gloss or matte finish. And one of the major changes now is something, if you can see here on the Wildcat data card here, something called Edge. It basically represents the fact that the aircraft almost fits into a new category, a better category, but doesn't quite get there. So it kind of takes that into effect, in essence, to create sort of some subcategories for certain aircraft in the game. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. If you're familiar with the game, this isn't really particularly new. It just makes corrections, changes, and clarifications to the system. A lot of good stuff here. And this comes in a Ziploc bag. And so that comes in at 48 pages in total. Fairly hefty. Included are some data cards. You got data cards for the Havoc, the Dauntless, the Devastator, the Avenger, the Wildcat, the Warhawk. 3 versions of that. These cards are beauties. Almost worth the price of admission by itself. I love using these cards and looking at them and reading them. White core, counter material. Kind of big counters, I guess, for one way of describing them. And then your history and variants. Please be sure to pause the video if you want to look at something for an extended period of time. The Blenheim, the Battle, Gladiator, I love the Gladiators, Buffaloes, Spitfires, Hurricanes, and the backside of the counter sheet, or data sheet, I guess is a better way to put it. Some Italian aircraft, the Falco, the Freschia, Seda, the Fulgor, the Sparviero, IL-2 for the Soviets, the Lag-3, and the Yak-1. I love Soviet aircraft. Probably because over the years, the only aircraft that mattered from an American point of view were American aircraft, and to a lesser extent the enemies and that they fought, and the British. So the Russian aircraft are nice to see in a game of this variety. The antagonists: 109s, 110s, 111, Dornier 217s, the Flying Pencil, the Dornier 17, Focke-Wulf 190, Stuka, the Ju-88, the Oscar, the Zeke, and for the Japanese, the Val, the Kate, the Betty, and the Sally. Finally, in the counter section, you've got the Whirlwind, the Swordfish, the Junkers Ju-52, and the Lag-5, Lakoven 5. Additionally, you have updated system counters, targets, and also additional aircraft. Excellent artwork from Lee Brimacombe Wood, graphic designer and designer for this game. So how to incorporate your kit properly: a one-page update sheet tells you what you need to do to properly incorporate the new components. And as indicated, you get this guide sheet, a rule book, a scenario book, a paper map, a sheet of counters, markers, and data cards, 5 sheets of data cards, player aid cards, which are 2 combat cards and a bombing card, and a battle display. Basically, the charts are what you have seen before, previously. And this is the bombing card. And then you receive 2 identical cards. Basically, you have your air combat table, 1 for each player, with appropriate modifiers. Losses, cohesion table, escort reaction, tally rolls. A battle display for victories, same as the one that was included in Supremacy. So what you do is you have 3 counters of Abel, Baker, and Charlie, and when you have a battle, and it's particularly if it's congested, you can take the Abel counter, put it on the square where the battle is occurring, and take those counters and put them in the display, maintaining the same facing, direction, and other data counters as appropriate, so you can factor out the battle and kind of make it a little easier. While the squares are good size, the battles can get congested. 1 paper map, and the reason you get a paper map is that the new version includes essentially a turn record track here off on the side to keep track of that information, which you didn't have previously. Not strictly necessary, but it's nice to have. And then a second edition playbook, scenario book, and they're not paginated, but it's probably up towards about 36 pages, I would guess. And you have your same basic starting scenario, Tiger, Tiger, and some of the same scenarios, and then there's new scenarios towards the end of the booklet. And lots of gaming goodness here. Some of these, I think there's 4 new scenarios. I think 2 were available previously, and 2 are new, 2 available previously elsewhere. Also, further explanation which has changed in the second edition. Which ADCs do you use for any particular purpose? And then that continues on to the last page. Very pleased I got this on the sale. So the price was very reasonable, and updates a game I already have an investment in, both monetarily and with enjoyment. Please comment, like, and subscribe. This has been Blastpop. Bye.